When traveling through the desert, it's important that you have a few things. A plan, plenty of resources, common sense, and actual navigation skills. Crossing a desert is hard and it's not a task to be undertaken lightly, and so you can't afford to not be smart about it. However, some people just aren't, which brings us to today's stranger mission, California. The prerequisite for this mission to appear is the Bonnie McFarlane mission Women and Cattle. Once that's done, you need to head quite close to where this stranger mission begins for it to show. It's at a location just a short distance southeast of Gaptooth Breach, which is southwest of Tumbleweed. When you arrive, you'll find a gentleman out here in the desert playing the harmonica. He seems friendly enough and the game gives us a prompt to talk to him.
Hello there. Nice to see another sentient being out here. Name's Sam. Sam Odessa. Anyway, that's the name they gave my grandpappy when he came across New York City.
Good to meet you, Sam Odessa. I'm John Marston. You long way from home? Where you come from?
Yeah, well, it would be if I had a home to come from. Been out here for several weeks, or several generations, I guess. Would have made better time, but my horse came up lame a ways back. Trying to get to California. See the ocean.
I hear it's wet.
From the Black Sea to the Pacific in 3 generations. I'm gonna make something of myself there. I'm gonna find something.
Hear they got a fine line of earthquakes out there. Maybe you can find one of them. Listen, Gaptooth ain't so friendly to strangers. I suggest you head back to Benedict Point before you run afoul one of these gangs that run it out here.
Well, thank you very much for the kind advice, Mr. Marston. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll go get me on a coach.
Nothing seems untoward about that first interaction. We give Sam some advice, and he seems to go and act on it. A happy ending for once, right? Wrong, this is Red Dead, get with the program. Around a few days to a week later in-game, you can come and find Sam out in the desert again. For me, 3 years have passed in game time because I came back as Jack Marston, but please do your best to ignore that for the sake of the story making sense. But it's very clear he didn't really take our advice from before, otherwise by now he would have been long gone. But no, he's just here sitting by the side of the road.
Hey, Sam. Sam Odessa? What are you doing? Are you alright?
You look just like your father, Mr. Mansion, right? How you doing? See.
A mansion. I kinda like that. You okay out here?
Yeah.
Well, ain't you supposed to be headed for California?
Yeah, I found the coach wasn't so much to my liking. It was a little bit slow, a little bit predictable, a touch mundane, but these cacti are quite palatable.
I hope they are. Listen, you should find yourself a horse if you're gonna head west from here.
A horse is a very noble creature. Did you ever hear the tale of the horse who could do sums better than any school child?
I think I missed that one.
See, if I could have a trusty steed like that who could take me to the shining sea.
All right, Sam, listen. Now, California's in the west. You just follow the setting sun. It ain't too complicated, all right? You got it? You take care now.
Setting sun.
Odessa scoffs at our advice and walks in the wrong direction altogether. He says he got on a coach but found it too boring and thus departed from the safer means of travel. He also said the cacti out here are quite palatable, which is kinda weird considering harvesting the edible parts of a cactus would be quite a tedious task, for an end result which according to Google would not be particularly tasty at all. And some species of cacti can contain some psychedelic hallucinogens within them, and I guess that kind of explains why he's talking about horses that can do mathematics. I think it's safe to say that Sam is wrapped up in the adventure, but he's failing to realise how dangerous the desert can be. About an in-game week later, we can head to the ravine north of Tumbleweed where we will encounter Sam again. This time he's fully lost his marbles.
Hey, are you alright, mister? You don't look so good.
Just why the shouting? Why the dancing? Why the laughter? I hope I die laughing, I do.
Keep this up and you just might.
My grandfather was a wise man who came from the east. He followed a star. That's still me. I'm still following, still dreaming, still free. You can't cage us. We are above. We are above, and we're free.
Listen, mister, you really need to come back to town with me. You're not doing so well out here.
No. See, I was careless, sir. I understand that now, but I will find me my paradise. I will head west. I will.
Come on, partner. You probably just need a drink.
You stay away from me. You stay away. I will find me my California. I will.
Sam has fully lost it. He obviously doesn't know his left from right anyway, but he's clearly unwell now from being out in the desert with limited resources, and is likely not being helped by the less than ideal resources that he's finding out here in the desert, i.e. the cacti he mentioned he's consuming before. In other words, he has just gone barking mad. The main takeaway being he's clearly not well. Unfortunately, he won't let us take him to town so that he can at least get a drink. The conclusion of this being the next time we see him, I don't reckon he's going to be very talkative. Another approximate in-game week later, we can find him just south of Tumbleweed. Unfortunately, there's no more raving about horses doing mathematical equations because Sam Odessa has died, and there's a vulture feeding on his body. Well, there was. In the cutscene, we'll search Odessa's body and we'll find a stack of money, but we'll also find a letter addressed to his wife. The letter reads as follows: "My darling wife, not a day goes by where I don't think about you and our beautiful baby boy. It is now many weeks since we parted. Precisely how long, I don't know. Time, once so predictable and reliable, has slipped away from me. I know how callous my abrupt departure in the dead of the night must have appeared, and for that I am truly sorry. But I hope you will find it in your heart to one day forgive me. For it was not a choice to leave, but rather an obligation. My grandfather came to this country with a dream that was passed down to me, that is in my blood, in my very soul. I always believed it was my duty to realise that dream, to complete a journey that started in Odessa, by the Black Sea, 3 generations ago, but I have lost sight of what it is, if I ever knew at all. I am headed west towards the ocean, but I'm not sure why anymore. Day after day, the sun beats down on me in this godforsaken desert, relentless and mocking. Every step I take forward, I seem to get further away. I've thought this was my destiny, and perhaps it is. Maybe we are condemned to walk in circles, chasing the skyline. Maybe it's all a lie. Oh, this is the terrible land of broken promises. I had everything and gave it up in the pursuit of nothing. I fear I have made a terrible mistake, but there is no way back now. Forever yours, Sam." So Sam Odessa had a full life that he gave up in pursuit of his dream, and instead of achieving it, he got lost in the desert and died, leaving his wife a widow and his child without a father. For us, there's only one thing left to do. Take the letter into town and post it so that it reaches Sam Odessa's wife so she may learn of her husband's fate. And with that done, it concludes this Stranger Side mission, California, bringing us to the end of this video. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff, that would be super fantastic. And with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care and goodbye.